Hi, I'm Granthi. Welcome to OVERDRIVE. This is Ariya Electric, Nissan Ariya Electric, and this is basically a test machine for Nissan's ProPilot project. We are in Tokyo. I was looking forward to this drive. I thought that okay, now I'll be driving an electric car, a prototype in Tokyo. But I realized that I got ready for nothing. Why? Because this is going to be a driverless, or at least I won't be driving this car. This is fitted with ProPilot level 2, which is basically eyes on, hands off kind of autonomous drive. The driver is supposed to sit there, but he doesn't have to do anything. The whole drive is autonomous, but because of regulations, the driver has to be there on the driving seat. So that's the background of this story. So I'm a bit disappointed because I won't be able to drive this around, Ginza and Tokyo and everything. But let's talk about this project. This is the ProPilot level 2, which is going to be launched in by 2027, financial year 2027, where many Nissan vehicles will get this, but they'll start with El Grande. That is the first vehicle which is going to be launched, but they are also working on driverless robo-taxis, which will start operating in 2028. Now, let's come back to this vehicle. This is fitted with lots and lots of sensors. So, LiDARs, radars, and cameras. Now, the moment you talk about autonomous driving, we think of Tesla, their full autonomous drive, and we also see how Tesla relies only on cameras, none of the other sensors, for example, LiDARs or radars. And if you follow OVERDRIVE, you must have seen how GLC, the new GLC, uses around 5 ECUs and around 27 sensors, including radars and cameras. So the software on the car can compute better, decide better in case of autonomous driving. In this case, again, we are seeing that combo, LiDAR, radar, and cameras. Let's take a look at all those spots where we see all these sensors. For example, we have 3 radars on this front setup. The one over here behind this bumper, second over here, third is here. Then you have this top mounted structure which incorporates 1 LiDAR and 2 cameras at front, and if you look at this spot, you can see there's 1 more camera. So in total 7 cameras, 5 radars, 2 at the back, again similar placement behind the bumpers, and 1 LiDAR. So 5, 7 and 1. So this is the set of sensors which you get just for autonomous rides. But does it end here? No. You have more cameras over here. Just look at this. 2 more cameras over here. 1 extra camera just for traffic monitoring, which is there, not part of autonomous driving suite, but it is there. Then you have cameras over here. So 2 cameras I can see over here. So those sensors or that setup is just for autonomous driving, and you have 5 extra cameras. At least this is what I could spot right now. So now I'll be sitting on the co-driver seat and going for a spin, a drive where I won't be driving. His drive has started with Lejima-san, and as you can see, he's not touching the steering wheel, nothing on the pedals, and the car has just stopped because there's a red light over there, and pedestrians crossing.
Not seeing only signal, not seeing white line, not seeing only vehicles. This is the whole image, understanding the whole image. And the power of AI is, I think you are well aware, power of AI is a end-to-end case. The power to learn means develop the relationships between the actions and elements in the scene. So
Right.
everything in the scene. The AI try to
Read everything.
find the connections, relationship.
Understood.
Right. AB 1.0 is the older systems. The difference is AB 1.0 is based on the human engineer's hypothesis, how we can simplify the driving task. So all hypotheses, perception, prediction, drive policy. So human brain can be reproduced like this simple structure, and each block is designed as simple as analyzing AI research technology. So this AI is just an image input. So in our system, 11 camera, 5 radars, 1 lidar. The road is camera is used by AI. Camera is used by AI. Radar is used for NCAP systems. NCAP is emergency breaker, regulatory requirement.
Okay, this is a tricky street.
Yes, Shimbashi station, and for example,
Yes.
in Japanese traffic rules, pedestrian has a priority
Understood.
crossing.
So the moment the car detected her standing next to a zebra crossing, it stopped.
We have the right to go straight. This vehicle start to move,
It'll stop.
stop or stare. Stop or stare. Because not only brake, this is a two-dimensional safest driving position. There, all stare trajectory. Trajectory is predicted to make a safest and fastest way. So not only brake,
Understood.
combination of stare, two-dimensional best driving person.
So basically, this mimics the human drivers, how they behave, and that's why even when the light for pedestrians it turns red, some of the pedestrians, for example, they're still on the road, but the car keeps creeping forward, just like normal human drivers do.
Even precise dimension of the 3D world. This vehicle, this brain has the capability to reproduce the deep, precise understanding of 3D world. That is the advanced part of this physical AI. So the nature of physical AI is if human can do based on the vision information, AI can do. So that means if we require long time additional training, so in Japan, 10 times more data is necessary to train Indian environment. It will happen in time. Technically, it must be possible. Single AI learns from scratch, like a human baby learns everything about the world from scratch. And at the age of 16 or 18, finally, she has the knowledge of driving. This process is also applied to single physical AI. This is end-to-end. Why we call it end-to-end? Input scenario, output maneuver. So end-to-end. Only input and human engineer never intervenes inside the brain. So we call it the end-to-end.
So that concludes our drive with this ProPilot Nissan Ariya Electric around Ginza, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed with the smoothness. I was really impressed with the intuitiveness and the way this behaved. In the sense, within maybe a minute, I was confident that this could navigate all different kind of traffic. One of the most interesting experience for me was how this mimics the way drivers usually behave on the roads. For example, if it saw some of the pedestrians crossing the road, and if that pedestrian light was red, and the car understood that in some time this traffic will go out, these pedestrians will cross the road. So before they crossed the road, this basically started creeping ahead. Slowly, it started slowly. So without waiting for a clear-cut indication, clear-cut message, this behaves like common human drivers. But one Japanese context to this whole autonomous drive thing is also the age, in the sense, especially in the transportation, public transportation sector, taxi segment, the age of common drivers is increasing. They're getting older and older, and the inflow of young drivers is going down. And that is one big gap Japanese manufacturers have to kind of address. And even the government is asking, promoting these firms and funding some of the firms to work on autonomous driving. And that is why we see that robo-taxi seems to be the next step for drive, or maybe non-drive test drive of this ProPilot Nissan in Tokyo. How did you like this video? Do let us know in the comment section. Bye bye, drive safely, see you soon.